What's going on with dating these days?
You can't meet them in real life, you can't meet them online.
The dating world is dead. It's dead.
It used to be simple, all about finding love.
Welcome to Love. First 6 contestants, all playing for love.
But things have gotten a bit more complicated.
It's ups and downs.
If you're on an app, it feels almost like you're going for an Argos catalogue and you're trying to pick out your favourite toy.
It feels a little bit more frantic now.
So I want to look into the state of dating in the UK.
Do they actually mean that, or are they just trying to like ghost the situation?
There are cheaters out there pretending to be single.
Find out what's gone wrong
We're trying to destigmatise that whole thing around speed dating to make it normal.
and how we're going to fix this modern dating crisis.
We'll look back at this documentary and I'm a wife and I'll have kids and this won't mean nothing. Cheers.
2024 became the year daters fell out of love with the digital romance scene. Online dating steadily replaced traditional ways of finding love. But Ofcom's 2024 Online Nation report shows that dating app use declined significantly between 2023 and 2024, with a drop of nearly 16% in the use of the top 10 most popular dating apps. Tinder had the biggest loss, with more than 500,000 users abandoning the platform since May 2023. After doing a bit of digging, I found that the co-founder of Tinder, Jonathan Badeen, admitted that the swiping feature was inspired by B.F. Skinner's pigeon experiment, where the pigeons were trained by Skinner to peck at a target, and they were rewarded with food when they completed the task correctly. So it's unsurprising that these apps can feel so addictive when the psychology behind it is integral to its creation.
And this is our brand ambassador. This is Pure Frogs.
The latest in the long line of dating apps is Cherry, and according to their study, the endless cycle of swiping and superficial interactions has left 58% feeling exhausted by the process, and 40% say their motivation to meet someone has decreased as a result.
Your options of trying to meet someone are either at the gym, bump into them in the supermarket, or through work. Other than that, it's apps. How else are you going to meet someone?
And do you like that?
I don't like it. It's just the way life has. You have to adapt, don't you? It's just what life's thrown you now. No one turns around and says, sorry, but I wasn't feeling it. They just ghost you. And that's just so prevalent now. They're hiding behind filtered photos. They're hiding behind a phone. They're hiding behind something all the time.
There are more than 1,400 dating sites in the UK alone, but the CEO of Cherry says this new app's aim is to rid the swipe fatigue epidemic, providing singles with the tools they need to forge genuine and fulfilling relationships.
I want to give people quality over quantity. Have 5 really good connections, not 100 that you have to sift through, which is exhausting.
Online services that promise to find people romantic matches have been likened to gambling products. They're designed to kind of keep customers hooked and addicted. Do you think dating apps are basically a form of gambling?
Wow, that's an interesting question. It can be when you've got that match, that adrenaline, oh, I've got a match, and it can be quite addictive. Then it's, oh, well, that connection didn't really work. Let's flip on to the next one. And it seems to be this constant merry-go-round of, oh, next. And if you look at the business model in itself, it's kind of counterproductive to have people leave the app. I know Hinge has got the strapline of designed to be deleted, but I just don't know how true that actually is.
In February 2024, 6 men filed a lawsuit against Match Group, the parent company of some of the biggest dating apps, including Hinge and Tinder, alleging that the company's dating apps are designed to get users addicted, encouraging compulsive usage, and locking them into a perpetual pay-to-play loop. Match Group said the lawsuit is ridiculous and that their business model is not based on advertising or engagement metrics.
Another app called Thursday was launched in 2021 to encourage people to meet in person, go to different events, and limit users to 1 day a week. On Thursday, I'm going to meet the co-founder of Thursday before heading to a singles-only event.
It's one of our plus 30 events tonight, so that's not plus 30 in terms of people, it's plus 30 on age range.
How do you feel about that 150 people coming to this event?
I love it. I mean, I get a buzz every time I go to a Thursday event. We're trying to destigmatise that whole thing around speed dating to make it normal. It's just a bar at the end of the day, everyone's single. Obviously we do things like run clubs, fitness classes, cooking classes, and the bars was very much
People
our...
actually go to those?
Yeah.
Clubs?
God, yeah.
Is it awkward?
At first it can be. We're fully aware that sometimes it can be a bit like, I mean, people are not used to this. This is a different way of dating. We've obviously become so reliant on the apps for years. We're giving people opportunity to meet new people face to face in a IRL way, which is quite hard nowadays. The Thursday event, the obliques at the top? Yeah, this way. I think dating app fatigue is, we've become almost immune to the swipe. By getting a match is a bit like getting a like on Instagram. It's become a bit, we're numb to it, and I think we'll want something different. And it's funny, like when me and my co-founder started this, one of our early hashtags was #meetlikeyourparentsmet. And it's funny how like we've almost lost the ability and the art of flirting in the real world, where you walk into a bar and people don't approach you anymore because everyone's too afraid of rejection. I hope dating apps die out, and I'll drink to that.
People have apps at their fingertips, and you can just, it's that temptation of always, is there someone better, is there something else? If I get asked, how are you? One more time.
I deleted all the dating apps this year. So my resolution for this year is to meet someone organically, and I hope that happens.
I think it's unrealistic necessarily to come in here looking for your husband.
The whole process isn't as fun as it used to be, and now it just seems to be all admin. All admin. Is she interested? Is she not?
And this is my only downside, is it almost feels like a little bit of like a networking event, and there's kind of like an unspoken pressure that everyone is single.
You go to an event like this to really open up. It's something that London needed right now, because sometimes you feel alone in London.
So I'm just on the way home from the singles event, and I don't really want to include this, but I felt it was important because a lot of people are faced with this whilst dating. A man came up to me and asked what I was filming, and also asked me not to show his face. It was because he was in a relationship and laughed it off and said that his wife would kill him. It made me feel a bit uncomfortable, because in these situations, loads of people are trying to find their partner, someone who they want to marry, someone who they want to trust. There are cheaters out there pretending to be single. Basically, it's not easy.
A 2023 YouGov survey found that almost half of Brits say their dating app experiences have been bad. Many users are choosing to share the ups and downs of their dating journeys on social media. What used to be a personal activity has now become communal, with trends on social media like these ones, highlighting single people bringing audiences along on their romantic journey.
There's way too many options, especially when you have things like dating apps. Like, guys have access to women and it's too easy. Whereas like if you go out on a night out and you meet somebody, you're not going to be talking to 5 or 6 different girls. I mean, some people might, but you're not going to talk to 5 or 6 different girls in one night, in one venue. I don't even know if guys approach girls anymore.
So shall we give that a go?
I think that's a great idea.
Shall we go on a night out?
I think we should go out, go for a drink, sit at the bar looking all mysterious.
And see what happens.
People start run clubs, we started a single club.
My friends and I, who are all over 30, decided to spontaneously go out on a Thursday night to see what the scene in London looks like for ourselves.
It's just become a bit of a game where you go on a date with someone, you might like them, but then in the back of your head you know that they've got 10 other options. It feels impersonal and it feels really disingenuous. We kind of want to have more real connections as opposed to just options.
I feel like a woman should never go and look for a man. And that's probably why I'm still single. Because a lot of girls do shoot their shot now and they have the confidence to ask guys out. I even see girls getting on one knee. We would like to obviously meet some people because that was the goal for Charline's documentary. And as you can see, it's just been a shambles, really. And
why has it been a shambles?
It's just the dating world right now. It's just not it. It's just not it. You can't meet them in real life. You can't meet them online. So at this point, I feel like my husband's in a different country.
Many don't even know what they're really looking for beyond a romantic fantasy. There's a casual attitude towards relationships, And as it gets harder to date, even the reality shows have become more extreme. According to research by Plenty of Fish dating app, 84% of people in the UK don't believe there is an age deadline when it comes to finding love, with 74% who are keen to date more selfishly, rather than adhering to societal milestones expected of them, like getting married or having children.
And I can see how the emotional toll of dating is becoming harder to ignore. I'm going to be speaking to a girl who wants to remain anonymous, who uses ChatGPT to analyse messages from guys that she's dating. I've spoken to a few other people who use ChatGPT for help responding to messages. So it's a lot more common than I thought. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
What made you turn to AI for help?
Do you know what? I think, like, normally, because I use it for work and stuff, and, like, just generally, like, just putting, like, information in there, like, rewording things. And then I thought, actually, you know, because it gives its opinion on, like, something you've written, for example, I thought, what if I just put, like, a text message I've received or a WhatsApp I've received from someone and just get it to decipher what this actually means? Not you having to second guess things and, like, overthink. It's just, like, an open, honest answer.
So I was just going to say, do you not think that is in a way over-analysing the situation by putting it into ChatGPT?
I over-analyse things a lot. Like, I'll be thinking, oh, well, they could be doing it. It could be this reason. It could be that. And, like, in my head, I over-analyse anyway. So I think ChatGPT actually simplified it.
AI has definitely redefined human relationships. Apps like Replica and Blush are designed to provide AI companions for emotional support, and in some cases even mimic romantic or intimate human relationships to, quote, solve the loneliness crisis. It's been reported that loneliness can be as damaging to health as smoking 15 cigarettes per day, highlighting the significant impact social isolation can have on physical and mental well-being. So is this a viable answer? I've come to meet a relationship expert and coach who has been a regular guest on the TV show Married at First Sight. Charline meets Charline.
Hello. Do you think that it's important for schools to have relationships as well as sex education? So it should be something like sex and relationships education.
Absolutely. I think what happens is that, you know, as young people, they try to kind of like work out how to do relationships themselves based on what they've seen at home or what they've seen around them. But actually, they don't really always know how to have healthy relationships. So how to manage conflict effectively, how to communicate, you know, with impact.
Okay, my friends want me to ask you this, okay? Where do we find men who want to be husbands? This is their question.
That's a big question.
It's a big question, yeah.
Of course, we know that there are lots of men on dating apps that are just having a bit of a laugh, that are not really serious. But we also know that there are men on there that seriously want to date. To wait for a guy to approach us, I think is a bit kind of 1950s. I think in 2025, we can say hi to a guy. We can say, hey, how you doing? Or we can just strike up a conversation. You know, we're good at talking, women, right? So we can find ways to connect with guys.
Do you think that the rise of like independent women is affecting or impacting dating in any way?
I think it plays a part. I think for a lot of men, they don't always know where they fit in. I think if you're a woman that does it all, I think for some guys, they might be thinking, okay, like where can I fit in here to be that man for her?
Over the last few weeks, my algorithm on social media platforms has taken a different route from what used to be mainly cat videos to now dating advice reels, from therapists and podcasters to coaches and even influencers. People all over my feed want to talk about one thing: dating.
I did it. I deleted my dating apps, and what doesn't make sense to me is that before I deleted them, I journaled about fearing the thought that I'm going to be single forever.
Meet Millie. She's a digital creator and has been open about never having a boyfriend and how hard the dating scene is at the moment.
Have you found that what you post about your dating life and being single gains a lot more engagement than any of your other posts?
Yes. Like the 4 posts that I've made about being single my whole life has literally got millions and millions of views, like the most out of all my posts. Like I thought I was the only one here. I felt so alone in this whole dating world that I was just honestly so surprised that everyone else was like having similar experiences. So the single society is like this little community that I've organically created. It kind of just felt so natural to see all of these men and women in my comments sharing the exact same experiences, feeling the exact same emotions.
What do you think of serial daters? Are you a serial dater?
I mean, what is a serial dater? I don't know. I think my friends will probably say that I date a lot, but that's really just coming from a place of, I'm just trying to find my person. I think a lot more people just don't know what they're looking for, which probably then comes across as this sort of surface level serial dating.
Dating today can feel like it's easier to be less attached, and modern dating trends are normalising behaviour that can impact finding love.
Having icks and like seeing videos on my For You page about bad dating stories or icks or, you know, that sort of narrative, I think makes people more aware of it, for sure, and like sort of searches for it in a way. I think I'll definitely find icks that are so ridiculous, but I probably wouldn't have paid much attention to it if I didn't really know much about icks in the first place.
I doubt dating apps are going anywhere. So many different versions are being made, but the issue is that there is no research or evidence on how happy or durable the couples are that meet that way. My friend, who was trying to enjoy her single life, unexpectedly found her girlfriend on Hinge, and they will be celebrating 3 years together this May, which is a bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
We're currently in the flat that we bought together, so I think you could say it's going quite well. I'd actually dated a little bit before I met Molly, and the year that I met her, I was planning on having a little bit of a hot girl summer. She very quickly put a stop to that, but we've been very happy ever since.
I actually think it's quite good that we had the option of online dating, because I don't think our paths would have crossed otherwise.
I think with online dating you get so many people, it almost feels like a bit of a numbers game, but it really does give you the opportunity to meet so many people that you wouldn't otherwise. There are people out there, there are fabulous people out there, and you will find your person one day.